Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Bath City Radio for today's Vanarama National League South clash between Concord Rangers and Bath City, live from the Aspect Arena. I'm Mark Stillman, commentating throughout with Michael Powell on summarising duties. A week off was just the tonic for Jerry Gill's men, who worked tirelessly to secure a draw with Dulwich last week, having played 76 minutes a man down. Concord, meanwhile, were the latest victims in Eastbourne's ascent as, like the Romans, they left Priory Lane on the back of a 2-0 defeat. That's little surprise for the Beach Boys, who have been more in tune at home this season, where they've only lost once here in 2022, that to league leaders Maidstone, whereas on the road they've only won once this calendar year. Concord appear to have landed a place in National League South for a 10th season, while City would love 3 points today to aid their quest for an 11th successive campaign at this level. Michael, I guess it's fair to say that last week's draw felt more like a win.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mark. It certainly did. When you play with 10 men for 75 minutes, you're more often than not going to lose, and particularly against a side in Dulwich Hamlets who, going into that game, were inside the playoffs. I think it was a point that when Jack Batten got sent off, Jerry Gill and everyone associated with Bath City would have gladly taken, and a performance that went along with it as well. It wasn't even a fluke of a point. They defended really well, and have to say, Dulwich created very little. They were disappointed, but Bath City deserve huge credit.
The defensive formation worked wonders. A few enforced changes means that it's another shape, which is a bit of a blow, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. I think Jerry Gill would have liked to have gone with, I'm not saying necessarily the similar shape in the forward areas, but certainly that 3 or that 5 at the back, depending on how you look at it. Obviously, it was a 3 in wing backs kind of last half an hour at Eastbourne. Sorry, get my teams mixed up here. And it was more of a flat back 5 last Saturday. I think he'd have liked to have gone with the same thing, and because I feel like this game, the pitch is okay, but seeing the warm-ups, it's definitely bobbly, and I get the impression it's nowhere near as bad as Welling, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be that type of game where the ball probably goes back to front pretty quickly at times, and that defensive solidity that Bath City have shown in the last 2 games, I think he'd have liked to have kept, but somewhat enforced or not comfortable with the personnel he's got available. He's gone back to a classic back 4, and that doesn't mean Bath City suddenly have to start leaking goals, but yeah, it is a bit of a shame because they looked very solid last week.
Concord have been more of a footballing side under Chris Search, but again, looking at the surface, as you said, in the warm-up, it has cut up a bit. We've had a few battles with Rangers over the years, expecting a similarly hard-fought clash today here in Essex.
Yeah, I think there's going to be very little in this game. I think it could be an odd goal either way that settles it. I certainly wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw, maybe 0-0, maybe 1-1. Away
we go. Seymour goes back to Holness. Sends a long hanging one up in the air for Cook to win a header. It's up before Randall, but can only head it inside. Danny Green gets it away over to the left for Kai. Cook is, I thought he was clipped in midfield. The referee waves play on. Is played behind from Green. It's one for Williamson. He's wide of the penalty area. He's gone for a snapshot just across goal, and it just about misses Ryan Clark's right-hand post. I think he might have had it covered, but a decent effort from Williamson. It goes just wide. Ryan Jones, see whether he's got a long one. Not bad, actually. It's towards the penalty spot. Where's he been hiding that? It's headed back forward from Smith to Freer on the left-hand side. Watch from Popo. Freer, decent ball in. It's just too high for Seymour and headed away from Pollock. And Lamar Reynolds can pick the ball up. Goes back to Popo. Ball over the top to Williamson. He's isolated.
Yeah, no goals in National League South this afternoon. It's been a slow start around the grounds, 9 minutes in.
Pretty quicker one here as Cook squares it to Freer on the edge of the penalty area. Freer shoots. Oh, it's just gone wide. Roberts was spraying over to his left-hand side to try and keep it covered. I think he always did have it covered, but a little opening there for Bath City.
Yeah, worked it nicely. Freer was in a bit of space. Could just see with the pass, just bobbled to him, which is why he couldn't take it first time, was closed down. Still got his shot to it. It was kind of a cross shot. It was always curving away from goal, but yeah, decent opening for the Romans.
Eddie Jones has taken this long throw. It's flicked on inadvertently from Pollock. Seymour gets it under control, not fully under his spell, and it's cleared from Scott. No one's giving a short option. He has got a long one, Payne. He didn't really utilise it last week. It's inadvertently flicked on, and in the end it's helped over from Pollock. I think it was Fletcher who accidentally got the flick on. Quite narrow pitches. It does favour the long one as Eddie Jones gets it. It's flicked on, only to Fletcher. Left-footed volley, takes deflection. It deflects kindly into the hands of Roberts. Reynolds, Green again on the right. Oh, this is lovely play. It's now inside to Reynolds into the penalty area, just behind Williamson. I think ball got a telling touch in. Freer's going to take this corner on the left, so it's going to be, on the Bow City right, so it'll be a left-footed in-swinger. Just too high and headed away. Follow-up one from Green. Out to Ryan Jones. Good ball back to Freer, the taker on the right side. He's going to turn inside to Scott near the corner of the areas. Does want to snuff out his shot. It bounces to Fletcher and ball volleys up and he puts it over the bar. And it's on his left hand as well. He's got it now near the edge of the box though. Cook with a shot, left-footed one straight to the goalkeeper. Miles Roberts got it as well. Cook just back into the fray and he immediately tests the home stopper. I wonder whether they changed positions at half-time, Kai and Reynolds. They did at Eastbourne the week, as Kai's now running at the defence. He's fouled Eddie Jones. I would have thought he'd get yellow carded for that. He's running fairly central, 35 yards out. And a yellow card for the returning fullback.
Yeah, Manu generally likes to get forward, but we've not seen much of that this afternoon.
Cook turns away from Blackman really well, near the edge of the box. Got Freer in room on the left-hand side. He elects to use him, Freer. Watch from Popo, and Popo stands up well to the concession of the Bow City corner. Three of them queuing up near the edge of the box. Ball, Cook and Holness. Not bad delivery. Ball heads it over. He managed to climb highest. And he couldn't direct it on target.
Decent chance, excellent delivery by Elliot Freer. Picked out his man, down ball, running onto it, climbed above his man. And in truth, having got there first, I think he should have done a little bit better.
Blonde locks on the ball now. His orange boots. The right side drives it into Reynolds a bit, doesn't really give him much chance to bring it under control, which means Freer can rob it off him, and now City's going to try and break. Oh, that's a real collision between Randall and Cook. And in the end, it's just a throw in Bow City's way.
It's a free kick. It should be a yellow card. He's absolutely clattered into... I mean, Cody Cook's done him a favour by standing on his feet, and rather than going down like a sack of spuds.
Long throw. Headed away, and two Concord men going each other's way to Smith near the edge of the box. Still Smith trying to keep it under control towards the byline. It's hooked away, and that's the final action of the first half, which has been pretty low on chances. Both teams have cancelled each other out. Bow City, from a defensive point of view, have been excellent so far. They've really restricted Concord to very few openings. They've had a few glimmers themselves going forward. They've been lively up front, but I think just it's been a good disciplined performance from the Romans. Ryan Jones picks it up and goes back to Delaney, just inside his own half. Square to Jones, just got there, but not a very good ball forward. He was sold short, Jones. One over the top from Scott for Kai to chase on the left-hand side, facing Eddie Jones again. Eddie Jones wants to stay on his feet. Kai bends it, oh, it's an own goal! It's gone in off Ryan Jones. I think the ball was going wide. Ryan Jones wasn't to know it. I think that should go down as an own goal. 2.5 minutes into the second half, a bit of luck gives the home side the lead. Concord Rangers 1, Bow City 0.
Oh, we're talking about the defending and how it being good. That's a really poor goal to concede. Delaney on the halfway line. It's a really poor ball to Jones, puts him in trouble. Jones then probably tries to be a bit cute playing the pass in field. He might have been better off just putting his foot through it. Comes down the other end. Kai cuts in way too easily, and then the ball was going wide, and Jones manages to turn it into his own net. So a catalogue of errors for Bow City and the worst possible start to the second half.
Eddie Jones is going to take this throw towards the near post. Cook couldn't quite get the flick on. It's to Holness now. Turns aside. Oh, he's gone down under a challenge. Penalty to Bow City, a really soft one to concede, and Bow City have an opportunity to get back into this game. They won a penalty at that end last year, and now Danny Green is the man who takes the penalties for Concord, who conceded this one, and a chance then to get back on level terms. Fletcher eyes up the ball, runs up, shoots, scores! Confidently sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, puts it into the bottom right-hand corner. 8 minutes gone in this second half. Concord Rangers 1, Bow City 1.
Change of main penalty taker for Bow City. It's paid dividends. Excellent penalty by Fletcher, sent the keeper the wrong way. Just what Bow City needed, having conceded that goal at the start of the second half, to get right back on level terms, get right back into this game.
I thought it was a penalty. I think he did as well. It was soft from Green. He didn't need to leave a leg out.
It was just sloppy by Green. He just left the leg dangling.
But they're on the attack again with Green near the edge of the penalty area. This game is really livened up. Williamson on the left-hand side. He's onside. Williamson to the edge of the box to Danny Green. Good control inside the penalty area. The moment he's cried it out to Williamson. Concord really got back onto the front foot since conceding that leveller. It's Kai near the edge of the box. Watch from Holness. Eddie Jones stands up. It's Green, a little nutmeg. Back to Green. Oh, Smith gets in the way. Really good move from Concord, but in the end it breaks down with Fletcher, the goal scorer. Looking for Seymour up in front of him. He's going to go alone for the time being down the right. He's well shackled from Payne. A diagonal one. Oh, it nearly found Cook, well headed away from the well-placed Randall. Ryan Jones takes his free kick, headed away from Randall. He's got time to do a follow-up header, but not much clearance on it as Cook is robbed. To Holness on the edge of the box. First time snapshot. Goes well off target for a goal kick. It's been a good few minutes about City. Had absolutely extended their lead at Welling. Also Tonbridge have levelled at Chelmsford for Adam Coombs. There's Seymour, good header inside to Cook. In behind to Fletcher. Is he going to get there first? Fletcher, he's turned inside. Good covering from Randall. And goalkeeper in the end does about enough. And Fletcher couldn't get a shot away on that occasion, but Varsity looking better on the attack. Pacey outlets for Concord. Freer, left footed delivery, just above Cook. Gets a head on ball. Oh, he's headed off the line from Popo. Attack still going though with Freer on the left-hand side. Plays it across. Seymour can't get there, and it's cleared at the near post from Blackman. Dan Ball is getting nearer to ending his goal drought in the league.
Just didn't get enough purchase on it. The ball sat up. It was just a bit of a loopy one, and he tried to strain his neck muscles, and just because of that, it gave Popo a chance to get back on the line and clear. Still good defending and alert from the Concord fullback.
Third spell with Concord, Tosun Popo. He came off the bench last Saturday. Smith got it on the edge of the box. A shot from 18 yards, and this one goes harmlessly wide for a goal kick. Pollock squares it to Payne on the left, just inside the City half, but allowed to go forward to Kai on the left-hand side. No flag. Dangerous Nanakai cuts inside, and this time he bends it out to play for a goal kick. It's a bit of height on it. Green tries to get it away. He can't. It's a volley from Freer, but it's a volley around 10 yards off target. Haven't have trebled their lead against Braintree elsewhere. Defensively, first 70 minutes or so.
Concord haven't had a shot on target.
No.
And if you're wondering how they've scored because you're just tuning in, it was an own goal.
Seymour can't get it on the edge of the box. Cook, it's blocked. That was going to hurt from Blackman, who's right in the way. In fact, he's been penalised for handball, which I think is pretty harsh. I think he's only a yard or so from the ball. Almost like he was trying to get away, hand by his side. But it's a free kick for City in a pretty promising position, about 25 or so yards out. Who's going to take it? It's Ryan Jones. Unfortunate for him, he slipped as he went to take it, which means it sort of dribbled around 3 or 4 yards wide and doesn't trouble Roberts. Well, Babalola is still coming on, but it's going to be for Riley Scott. So that's a forward for a holding midfielder. Free kick, which Blackman takes. Chips it towards the back post. Pollock helps it back in, and Babalola couldn't get underneath him. He's offside anyway, as the referee still hasn't spotted the flag. And in the end, he does go and give the offside. Meanwhile here, City are making that substitution. On 80 minutes, Ben Seymour's races run. And on for the final 10 comes Dave Sims-Burgess. Green. Been the focal point of Concord so often, but at the moment, it's been a favour for Bath City because it's the concession of the penalty. Foul from him. Has us at 1-1. Williamson squares it to Blackman, 30 yards out. He goes to goal, and it goes about 2 or 3 yards wide. Ryan Clark was always happy to watch it go past his post. Haven't running riot in the second half. 4-0 against Braintree.
And of course, they visit Twerton Park on Good Friday this coming week.
We'll be covering that every game on Bath City Radio. Here's Fletcher on the right, cutting in field onto his left foot. Squares it to Freer. Freer can't really get a shot away. He does get a shot away. Oh, it's just gone past the post, and it was an attempted lunge in from Fletcher to try and connect, and he couldn't. Might have been Cook, in fact, but it's out of play for a goal kick. Yeah, it was Cook who was stretching, actually, in the middle there.
Similar to the one we saw in the first half, wasn't it, where Fletcher kind of on the apex of the area, flashed one across goal that someone couldn't quite get on the end of and went narrowly wide of the post. Yeah, it feels like City have now got to the stage of having had a good spell in this second half. They're still posing a threat, as we saw with Freer a minute ago, but...
One over the top. Oh, it's an awkward header from Delaney. It could have been 2 own goals, actually. Babalola put him under pressure, and Brian Clark just doesn't have to gather. That could have been an absolute catastrophe.
You mentioned a mistake about 20 seconds before, and it was so close. Clark was coming for it. It was obviously a bit of miscommunication. Delaney got his head on it, and the keeper reacted really well to actually kind of change direction, managed to grab the loose ball, because otherwise it would have just rolled into the empty net.
Fletcher has gone down, been caught in the midriff, I think. The game goes on with Payne. The attacking third, Concord now doing some pressing with Kai with a curler into the back of the net! Nanakai heavily involved in the first goal. He scored the second one. 3 and a bit minutes remaining. Concord Rangers 2, Bath City 1. A sumptuous strike.
Said there could be a late twist in the tail. It felt like there could have been a goal coming either way, and it's happened. It's for Concord. It's very similar to the first where he's cut inside onto his right foot, probably too easily, and bent a sumptuous strike. This one just inside the post. Ryan Clark at full stretch, couldn't keep it out. Alex Fletcher down on the floor receiving treatment. And it's where he would have been in that right midfield. And City were caught light in that area and they've been punished ruthlessly.
The 90th minute substitution. It is a more defence-minded one. Lamar Reynolds is coming off, being replaced by Louis Ramsey. Blackman curls it towards her own side. Babalola's got and managed to keep it in play now near the byline. Keeps his balance. He's about to Kai. Scored again. That finishes off this game. Nana Kai will probably want to claim a hat-trick. He certainly got a double in the 90th minute. That's game over. Concord 3, Bath City 1.
Too easy, I'm afraid, down Concord's right. Pablola shows good strength but gets to the byline. It's an excellent pullback and Kai's made a good run into the centre of the area, finishes past Ryan Clark. He's taken his 2 goals absolutely superbly, but it's a tough one to take for Bath City. 2 late goals are going to make it look like it was a comfortable home win. It's been anything but.
But that's the end of this latest contest. Bath City's winless run at the start of 2022 away from home goes on. They've fallen to a 3-1 defeat, fallen at the final hurdle on Grand National Day because it's 2 late goals from Nana Kai which have effectively sealed off this win for the hosts. They took the lead, Kai was involved, his shot was curling wide and Ryan Jones inadvertently managed to get the final touch and put it into his own net. City levelled 6 minutes later on 54 minutes and Alex Fletcher penalty after Omar Holness had been tricked from Danny Green. It looked like it was petering out into a draw. There was a fear that there could be a late twist and it was delivered from Kai. 87th minute, lovely curler from range 20 yards. Clark was at full stretch. That was their first shot on target. Their second shot on target resulted in their 3rd goal. Good work from Babalola down the right-hand side, a little bit too easy. Pulled it back, though, for Kai with a first-time finish from 6 yards out, which sends the home crowd home the happier and Bath City go home disappointed. Thank you very much for tuning in this afternoon from myself, Mark Stillman, and from Michael Powell. Here at the Aspect Arena, it finished Concord Rangers 3, Bath City 1. See you again on Friday.